Hello, welcome to Tech Consult Limited. Today we'll learn mathematics and we'll look at construction. Okay, but construction has to do with the use of compass, a ruler, and a pencil to construct shapes and angles. Okay, but for the purpose of this class, we shall be looking at how to interpret constructed angles and shapes. Okay, there are some questions in your basic exam that they don't need to ask you to construct triangles or angles, as the case may be, or any other shape. Okay, you'll be given an assumed constructed angle or a constructed shape, and you'll be asked on the principle or identification of the angle or the principle that were used to get the shape that you have in the question. Okay, so that is what this class aims to achieve how to interpret constructed angles and shapes. Okay, and then by the end of the class, you should be able to see questions with some diagrams of constructed angles and shapes and identify what the angles are, or tell the process or the procedure used in getting those angles and getting those shapes. Do you understand? Okay, so we'll have to, before we go into getting some questions from, excuse me, getting some questions from our ExamGuide learning app, I will have to just have a refresher of the basic things we need in construction. Okay, so in construction we need mainly a compass. We need a compass. We need a ruler. Okay. We need a short pencil, We also need a longer pencil, These are basically some of the things we need to construct, to do our constructions. Okay, then maybe additionally, maybe to trace 2 points, we can have a protractor to measure an angle, or also need a divider. Okay, so these basically are the materials we need, and all these things can be found in your mathematical set. And of course, we need an eraser because you may make some mistake that you may need to erase. All right, I will even need a sharpener. Okay, we need a sharpener, and all this can be found in your mathematical set. Okay, so in construction, most of the terms we will be looking at, okay, terms to consider, terms in construction. Number 1, point. Number 2, line. Number 3, arc. Okay, in this arc, we can have something we call semicircular arc. We have bisect. Okay, bisect. Okay. Which other thing do we need? These are basically some of the things we need to know about the terms that we'll be using often, as we, even from our questions, we'll always see these things or these names or these terms used often. Okay, the first one is point. A point is an area where you use as a reference, okay? It's a part used as reference where your compass, the pin of your compass, is placed in order to construct an angle or do any form of construction, okay? It can also be said that a point is is where a line starts, okay? So if this is a line, that means this line started at this point and ended at this point. Do you understand the point? So that's why we can say this is point A and this point B. So points can be labeled. Is that okay? Points can be labeled. Then the other one is line. Line is what I've just seen here, is any stroke that joins, that runs from a point to another point. Okay? That is what a line is, a figure or whatever that joins or that runs from a point to another point. Okay? It can be vertically or horizontally. Then we have an arc. An arc is a cyclic, because it's in the family of circle, it's a cyclic stroke. Okay? Now, if this is our circle, any form of this circle that is, if we take out this part of the circle, okay, let's say we break this circle like this. Okay. Now look at this we have here. This part of the circle that we have from this point to this point in circular form is what we call the arc, an arc. This is an arc, this is an arc, an arc. So when these arcs join together, they form what we call a full circle. Okay, so when we'll be doing this, you will always hear, especially when we'll start construction of angles still in this channel, you will see that you'll be hearing something like make an arc. So to make an arc, just to carry your compass, put your pin at any point you want and just make an arc. Okay? Make an arc like this. You can make an arc this way, any way at all. Do you understand? That is an arc. Okay? Then in arc, we have what we call a semicircular arc. A semicircular arc is an arc that starts from any point of a line and ends on any point of that line. It is the half of a circle. All right? So if this is our line, this is our arc here, arc. This point, this is line. Now a semicircle is any arc. This is an arc. Do you get that? That runs from this line on the same line. Do you understand the point now? Just like this full circle. And let's say this is the half of the circle. So if I remove this side, this is an arc, because an arc is an incomplete circle. So look at this now. But this particular arc is different from this one. This one is almost half of a circle. It's like half of a circle. That's why we call it semicircular arc. And some of angles inside of this semicircular arc is 180. How? Because angles inside a triangle, inside a circle, is 360 degrees. So once we take the half of 360 degrees, is 180 degrees. That is supposed to be angle inside of this arc, inside of the semicircular arc. Then the next thing we need to learn is to bisect. You always hear bisect. Bisect a line. We can bisect a line, we can bisect an angle, we can bisect, we can bisect a line and an angle mainly. For instance, to bisect means to divide into two, mainly equally. To divide into two, mainly what? Equally, in an equal manner. For instance, if this, like we said, is our line AB, this is our point B, and this is our point A, and this is our line what? AB. Line AB. This is how to write line AB. Do you understand? Okay. So, or we can say line AB. All right. So to bisect this means to divide this line into two equal halves. But we can't just do that like that and look for anywhere and just divide the line. No. When we start construction, we'll have our compass, we'll have the short ruler, short pencil placed inside of the compass holder and put the pin at this point and make an arc. Let's say we make an arc here from here. We come here again, put the pin here, and make another arc here. This point where the arc, where these two arcs meet, we draw a line that we call the bisector to cut through this place. So now at this point, what we have just done now, we have bisected the line AB into two equal parts. Okay, this part and this part. Do you understand the point now? So in this case, what we have there is 90 degrees here, because this is perpendicular to this. This a perpendicular point. Do you understand? Perpendicular point is a horizontal line, a vertical line meeting a horizontal line. That point where they bisect, where they intersect, is called a perpendicular point. Okay? All right, so that is that. We can also bisect angles. Okay, let's assume like what we have here, right? Good. So let's assume what we have here is, let's assume this is our angle, and this is what we have just bisected. Of course, you know that here now to here is, let's say, our 90 degrees. Now we can bisect this angle to get 40 degrees. What we simply do is to pick any radius of our choice, okay, and make an arc here, come here, make another arc here, then we bring it here. We have bisected this angle. This is an angle that has been bisected now into two parts. This now being 45 degrees, here being 45 degrees. Can you see that? That we have bisected an angle. Do you understand the point now? Don't forget, we also have, I think there's also something we need to know. There's what we call radius. Radius. Okay? Radius is a line that runs from the center of a circle to the circumference of the circle. If this is a circle, any line that runs from here to any part of the circle, or let's say it runs to this part, or let's say it runs to this part, or let's say it runs to this part, all these lines, they are called radius. Take for instance, where you will understand what radius is, if you have a bicycle, the spokes, okay, in the wheel of your bicycle, those spokes, okay, you can see them as radius, coming from the center of the wheel of the bicycle to the circular part of that wheel. Is that okay? That's called radius. Now, in construction, what radius will mean for us in simpler terms is, if you have a compass, let's say this is how the compass is. So if you want to draw any arc, you open the compass to any length of your choice. Let's say the compass was like this, and you open the compass like this. So from this point to this point is your radius. If you open it down to this point, this becomes your radius. If you open it like this, it becomes a radius. So when we start the construction, you will always hear, take a radius of your choice that is convenient for you, so that once you draw, you won't make any mistake in making your stroking. Okay? All right, so that is what radius is. So we can bisect angles. That's what I just explained there. Okay? And we could do a couple of so many things. And okay, so before we go again to look at some of the questions we have, let's look at some very special angles. All right? Is it all angles that we can construct in mathematics? Is it all angles we can construct in mathematics? Now, the answer is no. There are some angles that we can construct, and we call those angles special angles. Special what? Special angles. Okay? Now, beginning from 360, these special angles can be gotten either by bisection of angles. Listen, by bisection of angles, and or by addition of two or more special angles. Do you get that now? I'll make you understand that. Now, let's assume that this is circle. This circle. Let's say this is the what is it called? This is the center of the circle. Now, if we divide this circle into two equal halves, this circle initially being 360 degrees, these two equal halves, okay, we have formed another circle now that we have as this. So this becomes 180 degree. Okay, so let's just call this place AB, like I said. All right. Now, 360 is a special angle. It can be constructed because by constructing 360, just use your compass with your pencil on it, okay, and take a radius of your choice and just make a circle. That is 360 degrees. To construct 180 degrees is to divide 360, is to bisect it. Okay, it's like what we've done now. Now, from this 180, if this is our point A and point B, we can, bisect this to get 90. So what we do is put our this thing here, any convenient radius, and here any convenient radius, then we bisect it. Now here, we have gotten something like this. Can you see that? Okay, so this becomes our 90. So this is our B, and our A is somewhere here. A is somewhere here. So this has become our 90. Now, this 90, to bisect it to 40, we can do, okay, and here we draw, so we can still have, so this now is 45 degrees. Do you understand? This 45 degrees, we can still do that. Here, we bisect, here, we bisect, we join to give us 22.5 degrees. 22.5 degrees, we can still do that to give us, just to bisect these two, here and here, to give us 11.25. Okay? Just like that, we can bisect this till we can't even have anything to bisect. Do you understand? So that is for 360, 180, 90, 45, 22.5 and all that. Then we also have, from this 182, okay, from that 180, if these are 180 degree, now, once you, if this is your line, And let's say this is your point A, and this is your point B, and you make a semicircular arc. Now, that radius that you use to make this arc, don't change it. Come here, put your compass here, you cut here. You can also put your compass here, you cut here. Now, remember, before you made this, there was a center point here called 0, where your pin was before you did this. So at this point, okay, you just do this, you do this. Then you draw a line here to meet this point. You draw a line here to meet this. At this point now, this becomes 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. How? Because we just divided 180 into 3. If you divide 180 into 3, it gives us 60. That is 3 into 18 is 6. 3 into 0 is 0, so 60 degrees. Can you see that? So 60 is also a special angle that can be constructed. Do you understand the point? Then the next one is from this 60, you can just come here, take any radius of your choice. Where it makes an intersection at this point, just draw an arc, and here, draw another arc. Then you join. From 60 now, we have gotten what? 30 degrees. Do you understand? From 30 degrees, we can get 15. Just take any radius of your choice. From here, you make an arc. From here, you make an arc. You bring it down. These are 30 degrees. From 30 degrees, we can also do 15 degrees. 15 degrees, we can do 7.5 and all that. Do you understand? So those are some of the special angles that we have. We have other special angles. Okay, I've given you 360 degrees, 180 degrees, 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 22.5 degrees, and so on. We're giving you 60 degrees, 30 degrees, 15 degrees, and so on. Now, we also have 120 degrees. We have 105 degrees. How is 120 and 105 gotten? Let's assume this is our semicircular, which we put our point here and drew. This A, point 0, and this B. So our 120 is this same arc. Just come, do a mark here, do a mark here. You can just draw from here. So from this part to this part, okay, is 120. How? If this is like this is 60, this is 60. 60 plus 60 is 120. So this is 120. While the remaining part of this side is 60. Okay? So this is 120. So to get 105 is to do 105 is gotten from 90 degrees plus 15 degrees. Do you understand? Which is 105. Okay? 105. How can we get that? If we do 90 degrees, look at this. You know how we got this? I explained it earlier here. All right? So if we have this, remember this place is what? 90 degrees. So all we need, and remember, we had a semicircle like this. These are B, these are A, these are origin, okay? And we did this. Now, what we have to do is to find a way and look for what? 15. Is that not so? So here, we're going to, from here, let's do 45. If these are 45, so if these are 45, it means that these are 45 now. This is 90, 135 degrees. What I meant was 135 degrees. I'm coming to that 120. Let's get 135 first. 135 degrees. It is, we do 90 plus 45 degrees. So this, another special angle, 135 degrees. So this 90 plus 45. If you check this now, 90 plus 45 is just for you to clean all this, okay? So 90 plus 45 here gives us 135 degrees. Is that okay now? All right. So for 105 is simply, let's have So what we do is, if we have our arc and we have our center point where we put our compass pin, then draw. Remember, don't change anything yet. Do your 60. Do your 60. Is that okay? Remember this, if you draw a broken line, just watch me. So this is 60, 60, 60. All right? From this 60, if from this 60, we now do, look at this now. We now do from this 60, we do 90. Let's even get 90 degrees. We open any radius of our choice. We cut here, here, we cut here. This is, if this is 60 degrees, see this now, it means this is 30 degrees. Because 60 degrees plus 30 degrees gives us 90. So this is 90. Now, it means that what we need is from here, which is, this is what we're talking about. This is 60 degrees, 60 degrees here, and this 60 degrees to make it 180. Now we formed 90 degrees, which is this now, okay? So here now, we have 60 degrees. Here now, remember this place from here to here was 60, but we bisected it. So this is now 30, and this also was 30. So now, 60 plus this 30 has given us 90 first. So from here to here first is 90 degrees. We need 15 to make 105, right? So to get that 15, we bisect this 30. So we put our compass at any radius of our choice. We draw here. We also draw. Then we bring it down. So this place now is now 15. So we can, why I use broken line in all this is that this one now, that is what you're looking for, you can draw it with a bold line. Okay? And say from here to here is 105 degrees. That's how to construct that. So those are some of the special angles that we have. Okay? So we have some couple of questions that we may just have to look at and see how we can answer those questions directly from our past questions. Okay, so the first question given there is, to the bisection of angle 30 leads to angle what? The bisection, that is a very straightforward question. The bisection of angle 30 leads to angle what? Of course, you know when I was telling you about that bisection, okay, look at it here. If we bisect angle 30, we get angle 15. So look at it. So if this is our semicircular arc, and this is our center. Remember I said this is 60, this is 60, and this is 60 to give us 180. So to get 30, any radius of your choice, see the same radius. Okay, so we have gotten 30. So this is our 30, and this is also our 30. Now if we bisect 30, it's 30 divided by 2. Bisection is over 2. So 30 divided by 2 is 15, meaning if we bisect this, and here, we're having 15 degrees. So if we bisect, the bisection of angle 30 degrees leads to angle 15 degrees. Is that okay? All right, so let's look at the next one. Now, this is about shapes. This is about construction of shape. Now, look at the question. The question says, which of the following is not a step in the construction of the triangle below? Which of the following is not a step in the construction of the triangle below? So let's look at the triangle. The triangle is labeled PQR. Let's look at the board. This is PQR. Okay? They said PR is 5.6 cm. 5.6 cm. 4.9 cm for QR. 4.9 cm. Then we have 6.5 cm. 6.5 cm. 6.5 cm. Now, the question here is, look at the question, look at the screen. Which of the following is not a step in the construction of the triangle below? Now, to construct this triangle, look at, this is a line, line AB, line PR. It means that this line PR is 5.6 cm, meaning before this line was drawn, 5.6 cm was measured to draw this line. Okay? Now, line PQ was gotten by simply this person that constructed this measured with his or her, if this is the compass, this is my hand. So, and this is the ruler. The person measured from this, from point 0 to where they have 6.5, this radius, and came to this point P and drew an arc. Let's say from this point, drew an arc here. Are you getting that? This is, so from here to this arc, the person used a radius of 6.5 cm. Do you get that? Then for QR or RQ, when that line was about to be drawn, the person used that same compass, that same compass to measure with his pencil attached to the compass to measure 4.9. Okay, 4.9. He brought out the distance from the measurement, put the pin here, and 4.9. So at this point where they made the intersection, he drew this line to meet line PR, and drew this line to also meet this line PR, and this is how this angle was constructed. So let's look at the things that in the options that say what we have just explained here. Do you understand? Now let's look at the first one. So to do this, draw a line segment PR equals to 5.6. It is true. Wait, first of all, draw PR with this length being 5.6. Now, they say which of the following is not a step. So this is a step in constructing this. A is one of the steps. Let's look at B. Join Q to R and Q to P. Let's see it. They say join Q to R and Q to P is another step, just like I just told you now. Okay? That is another step. Step 3, let's look at the next step they have in option C. With P as the center and radius 6.5, draw an arc. With P as the center and with radius what? Remember what I said, radius, if you carry your compass, take any particular length of the ruler, okay, that is your radius. Once you open that compass, okay, and close, so that compass you open, that length is the radius. Okay, so you say with P as the center and radius 6.5, draw an arc. We did it here. 6.5 and with this P as the center, right? The center is where that pin will enter. So we drew 6.5. It is correct. It's one of the options too. Let's see D. With Q as the center, Q, okay, as the center and radius 6.5, draw an arc at R. Look at, they say with Q as the center, meaning our pin will be at this Q, right? They say we should measure 3.5 and draw an arc that will touch R. Is that correct? That is not correct. Because the arc here, the radius here is 4.9, it's not 6.5. So option D is wrong. Even without looking at option E, we just know that option D is not correct. Option D. It's not correct. So let's look at R and compare it with D. With R as the center, yes. And radius 4.9, yes. Draw an arc. Can you see? To meet Q. So this is also correct. So option D is the incorrect option there. All right? Okay. Let's look at the next one. Okay. Which of the following angles cannot be constructed using a ruler and a pair of compasses only? Look at these options now. If you look at the special angles, anyone that you can see in those special angles cannot be constructed with a ruler and a pair of compasses. We can construct it with a protractor. Do you understand? We can construct with a protractor, but we cannot construct it with a ruler and a pair of compasses. Do you understand me now? A pair of compasses. We can construct angle 55. We can construct 30. I showed you how to do 30. Even just now we did 30 here. We use ruler and compasses. Okay. We can construct 45. We can construct 60. We can construct 90, but we can't do 55. Okay? There is no angle we can bisect to give us 55. There is no angle to add to give us 55. Is that okay now? All right. If we add 45 and 55 is not and 15 is not 55. All right. It will even give us 60. Is that okay now? So we can't do that. To construct those angles that are not special angles, the only option we have to do is to use a protractor. A protractor is that shape in your mathematical set that is semicircular. It's always like this. And you have lines, radiating like this, radiating this way. Each of these is 10, 20, 30, t. It gets to 180 degrees. Do you understand the point now? So to do 55, it's just to do, if this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So if this is 50, it means 55 could just be somewhere around here. Then you can just use this and draw your angle 55. But with a ruler and a pair of compasses only, you cannot construct angle 55. So angle 55 is our correct option. Okay, let's see the next one. To construct angle 30, it is proper to construct angle what? How do we get angle 30? From what do we get angle 30? Remember, we got angle 30. Look at even from here. Okay, let's not get it confused. Let me see if we can. Remember, we draw a line, take a point here, and take our center here, right? And put our compass here and make a semicircle. On that same radius, don't change the ruler to make 60. Now it's 60 I want to achieve. We do this, we do this. We draw, this is our 60 degrees. To get 30, just bisect 60 degrees. Bisect here, so that we can get 30 degrees. So to get 30 degrees, we must first of all do what? We must first of all construct 60 degrees. It's from 60 degrees that we can just conveniently get 30 degrees. Is that okay now? Okay, so let's look at, now look at this. Let's look at this. We'll have to do some calculations. If you're given this in your exam, let's draw it. This is A, B at point 0. That is the point of origin. We have P We have R. We have Q. See that? Okay. So A, O, B, Q, R. Good. So the first question they're asking us is calculate the sum of angle AOP. So they say sum of angle, what is it? AOP. AOP. AOP and QOB. Angle QOB. Is that okay? What's our, this AOP and QOB. So we must interpret, they didn't give us any figure here, but these things from what we can see, we can interpret what these angles are. Do you understand the point? All right, so what this means is that they say we should add this and this. So this means that angle AOP plus angle QOB. Is that okay? So what is our angle AOP? AOP, that is this angle. Of course, this is what they mean. This is a right angle triangle. This is a 90 degrees. Look at it. Here, here. All this, everything here, from this point to this point. That's the angle they're talking about. So it is 90 degrees. So this is our 90 degrees plus QOB. If this, if this part is 90 degrees, this part is also 90 degrees. But in this 90 degrees here was bisected. So it means this QOB here is 45 degrees. So this is 45 degrees, meaning this is 135 degrees. That is what it is. And if you look there, we have 135 degrees as one of the options, and that is the correct option. When we add angle AOB and angle QOB. So it's 135 degrees. All right? So the next one we have here is to construct 90 degree. Let's leave this. We are coming back to here. There's a question also that will direct us to this. To construct angle 90 degrees, you will need to bisect what angle? What angle are we supposed to bisect to get 90 degrees? Which angle was bisected here to get this 90 degrees? Okay, can you still remember? Okay, this is what we did. So to get 90, when you do a semicircular arc and you bisect it, we say this is our line. Let's say this is our center, and we do a semicircle. Okay, then these are A, B. So we open any radius of our choice at point A, put it at point A, and make an arc. At point B also, you make an arc. So you bring it down. So this thing we have just done is 90 degrees. This one also is 90 degrees. So the question says, to construct angle 90 degrees, you will need to bisect what angle? You bisect 180 degrees. Semicircle is 180 degrees. All right? So we bisect 180 degrees. Is that okay? Then this says, which of the following angles cannot be constructed using a ruler and a pair of compasses only? 45 can be constructed, is a special angle. 60 can be constructed, is a special angle. 90 can be constructed, is a special angle. 120 can be constructed, is a special angle. But 115 cannot be constructed, is a special angle. All right? So 115 cannot be constructed. Okay. So let's look at this question. Let's look at this question. Now, this is the second part of this question. This question says, find the size of angle ROQ. Angle ROQ. Is that okay? Let's look at that. So this is our ROQ. So they're asking us to find this size of this angle. That is it. This is ROQ. So if this is 90, it means half of this. It means this place is 45 degrees. This place is also 45 degrees. So this is 45 degrees plus 45 degrees to give us 90 degrees. That's the size of ROQ. Angle ROQ. So is 90 degrees. All right. Okay, so let's okay, now look at this. Let's look at this diagram. Look at this diagram. Look at it from the screen. Drawing arcs passing through D, E, and C is a process of constructing a dash. Let's look at it. They said drawing arcs passing through D. Okay? So these are point D. This arc here, this is an arc, and E, this is an arc, and C, this is also an arc. Okay? It's a process of constructing a dash angle. Is it bisector of a line segment, given table, given angle, line segment, perpendicular bisector of a line segment, perpendicular line. Now let's see. Now if they said drawing an arc or a line, I think that is what is meant there. Drawing a line that passes through D or through this or through this place. This line that came here now is a process of constructing a bisector of a straight line or constructing a given angle, line segment, and all that. So it is a way of constructing a given angle. Like here, see, this line that cuts this arc has made us to construct 90 degrees. If you come to D, this arc makes us to construct 60 degrees. If a line runs through this place, are you with me? Then for E that was also given, this arc here, a line running across it is to construct 60 degrees. Do you understand? So it's to construct a given angle. That is the correct answer. Okay? All right. Look at this. The construction below represents angle what? Represents angle what? Remember. Now, another way of, that is angle 60, and this is another way of constructing angle 60. Remember, or as you can see, this arc was not a full semicircular arc. But we can do this. If this is our line graph, okay, and we have chosen, let's say our center point. We bring out any radius of our choice. Let's say from here, we make an arc and possibly stop here without changing the length of that radius. Come back here, make an arc here. You have constructed 60 degrees still. So this is still 60 degrees. Okay? If you don't change this, you still come here, put this arc here, you can complete this line. You can make your another arc. But if you don't want to have a complete semicircular arc, this can also give us 60 degrees. So this is 60 degrees that have just been constructed and looking at us. Okay? So that is option C. And let's look at this one. Which of the following is or are appropriate for the construction of angle 30 using a pair of compasses only? Okay? Now, I bisection of angle 60. They are saying which of the following is or are proper for the construction of angle 30. What it means is how is angle 30 bisected? All right. So the first option there is bisection of angle 90 or angle 60 degrees, or bisection of angle 90 degrees, or bisection of angle 150 degrees. The option there, the correct option there is A, bisection, that's I only, bisection of angle 60. When we do that, we get angle 30 degrees. Okay? All right, so let's look at which of the following. Look at the three figures we're given there. Now, they say which of the following methods above is or are, meaning two of them there may be correct, or the three, or just one. So, which of the following methods above is or are correct for constructing angle 30 degrees at A? So, at point A. Do you understand the point? How do we construct angle 30 degrees from point A? Is that okay now? So now, look at the first one. If we look at the first one here, so the first one we have there is angle 90, okay, and angle 45. So we have no business with 30 degrees here. So it is obviously not I. So I is not correct. Now let's look at the next one. The next one that we have there is, they are asking on which of the following methods above is or are correct for constructing 30 degrees. Now look at II. II is 60 degrees, right? It means that if we bisect that II, that angle, see II here, okay, this is the straight line, then there was an arc that was not complete semicircular arc, then, okay, so if this is point A and here is 60, to find 30, just an arc here, an arc here. So this is 30 degrees. So II is correct. Let's see if III is also correct. If you look at III, we have a complete semicircle, okay, and this time 60 degrees this way. So if this is 60 degrees, we can make an arc here, to do 30 degrees. So this is also correct. III is correct. So the correct method there is option E, II and III. These two methods, you can use it to construct angle 30 degrees. So a question is asked here, which of the, like I told you, some of the materials we use in constructing angle, we have, of course, pair of compasses, plain papers, protractor, ruler, and scale pan. Okay, so this is the odd one there. Okay, all right. So which of the following angles can be bisected to get angle 22.5? So to get angle 22.5, like I said, is to simply bisect angle 45. And how do we get for 45? We get 45 from 90. This is our 90, right? To get 45, any radius of your choice here, make an arc, radius of your choice. See the same radius, make an arc. You have gotten 45 degrees. So to get to 22.5, which is 45 over 2, to give us 22.25. Right? So to get that 22.5, right, is to dissect this 45 here, and to dissect this. So this gives us 22.5. So we do that, the correct option there, we do that by dissecting angle 45 degrees. All right. So there are some couple of questions in your ExamGuide app. Okay, you can go there, practice some of the questions given there, and solve them. Okay, you can give your answers in the comment section. Until I see you again. Thank you very much.